Welcome to Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. Your day weather podcast brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, don't face it alone. Get an experienced local Wyoming attorney on your side. Free consultations at WyomingAdvocates.com or call 307-800-1952. You deserve an advocate. Well, another Pacific storm system is coming, and as you can see there from the humor from the Davis Weather Station there in Peoria, Colorado this past weekend, well, there's more rain coming to western Colorado, believe it or not. We'll talk about that here in a minute. We have another impressive Pacific storm entering the west coast right now. It'll be mild ahead of the system today and tomorrow in many areas. Actually, temperatures east of the Divide especially could be quite pleasantly mild for October. But there will be some showers around here and there. The storm is going to very quickly move off the west coast through the central and northern Rockies late Wednesday through Thursday. It's going to impact the northern areas the most. Northern and western Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, the Pacific Northwest, and up into the Dakotas and south central areas of Canada. Then we have a cold front early next week. I think the air with that front will be pretty cold, and that's going to be a bit of a weather maker as well as we get into next Monday and Tuesday. What's the real scoop on La Nina? We're going to talk about that. It's been in the news here over the last week, and there's been a lot of things that I've seen online and on newscasts that don't quite agree with, but we'll talk about that here in a moment, and we'll show you why. Beautiful shot of a rainbow from late last week over Star Valley. We've had a lot of rainbows this fall. Snow virga over Elk Mountain, and the mountains are going to see these showers again today in many areas. And the last bits and pieces of fall colors, still pockets of it in the higher elevations there near Estes Park, but now we're kind of going to be viewing the cottonwoods and the other trees in the low elevations now. That will bring us the fall color as we go deeper into October. The layered clouds yesterday in Round Valley, California, ahead of that storm system that's moving into the west coast, and layered clouds again coming all across the region ahead of that Pacific moisture. Here's a great shot of Comet Lemon from Jan Curtis. This is going to be a possible real treat for you folks who like to go out and see the stars, see what's going on out there. Comet Lemon is going to be viewable for better than a week and a half, and it's going to be climbing higher in the sky. And not only climbing higher in the sky, it's going to be getting brighter, and even better, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to see it. This graph is showing the brightness forecast of Comet Lemon, and you can see the curve there is showing that at its peak, it's going to get to magnitude 4, right around 4, maybe a little bit less than 4. That makes it visible by the naked eye. But certainly if you've got binoculars, telephoto lens, or a telescope, you're going to see Comet Lemon. You're going to be able to see it if we can get a good night, and it's going to be around long enough that we should get it a good night or two. It just depends on the day. This is the number here is the date. So you can see starting October 12th through the 24th here, Comet Lemon goes higher in the sky, the northwest sky, and gets brighter, which will make it easier to see. And it's going to be here during the evening hours. We have an impressive storm system on satellite this morning just off the coast of San Francisco. And you can see there's plenty of moisture out ahead of this system right now. And more moisture like this is likely going to be working its way through the region. Very impressive here on the water vapor with that low near San Francisco. This is an impressively strong Pacific storm system. A lot of times these storm systems in October will head towards the Four Corners, but it's going to curve up and go more like this, as we showed you yesterday, as the low is going to want to eventually join the main jet stream later. We talked about some models taking it too far north too quickly, some other models taking it more south. It's going to be a compromise. So it's going to go right across Idaho, northern and central and northern Wyoming, into Montana, then into the Dakotas, and head up here into south central areas of Canada and the Great Lakes before it moves through. And it's going to be impressively moist, a good slug of moisture for California. Look at this, more rain coming to southwest Colorado, northern New Mexico, and the Four Corners region here. This area took forever to get wet. Most of the summer it had a hard time. Now the fall has hit, and western Colorado, parts of New Mexico, and Utah finally getting moisture. Significant moisture here will also be in the form of some high elevation snow. Wyoming's western mountains, the Beartooth, the Wind Rivers, the Tetons, the Wyoming Range, all of these higher mountains here, the Yellowstone Plateau, as well as the Sierra Nevada, going to get a good shot of snow as the trough comes through. By Sunday, we're under a little bit of high pressure here as the low swings through. So between, let's say, midday Friday through Sunday, there's a little bit of a break in the weather with southwest flow. However, this next storm system is going to dive bomb out of Western Canada into the region as we go into the early to middle portions of next week. And this would be a classic October cold front, dragging in a pretty good shot of cold air. And there's going to be an area of Pacific moisture right here. We could see some low elevation snow late Monday and Tuesday, and much colder temperatures is showing here on the temperature anomaly by noon Tuesday. So we've got this system coming up, a break, another system late Monday and the Tuesday of next week. And each system will bring snow to the high country and gradually colder weather to the lower elevations. What's going on with La Nina? Yes, we are currently and technically in a La Nina. It's a weak one. It's a baby La Nina, but it has been making the news lately. And there's a lot out there that's just really not correct, or they're misinterpreting or not really understanding how La Ninas work. Yes, we're technically in a La Nina, as you can see here. But a couple of things to remember. No two La Ninas are the same. They're not same year in and year out. You don't get the same result with every La Nina because they come in different shapes, sizes, and intensity. And this is critical. Timing. The timing is really, really important. La Ninas that happen early in the season, where they are strongest in the fall, then weaken heading into winter and spring, give you a much different result as opposed to a La Nina that comes on in the early winter and intensifies into spring. That's where you get the drought signal in the west. That's where you have problems. That's not the case with this La Nina because we will transition to neutral by January, February, and we'll see warmer water temperatures by March and April. This is where we are right now. The depth of La Nina last year got stronger as we got into December, January, February, before weakening in March and April. The opposite is going to happen with this La Nina, and all the modeling shows that. As we get to the new year, the trend line is up with sea surface temperature anomalies, not down. And this is critical. Timing is everything. Intensity is everything. So the La Nina impacts will be less than is being reported. A lot of reporting is, oh, it's going to be a La Nina winter. Not necessarily. If you compare this La Nina now, in October of 2025, to what we had in October 22, there's a big difference. That's a La Nina. Baby La Nina, much more mature La Nina right there. So it's not apples to apples. And we have, again, these warmer sea surface temperature anomalies in the Pacific, which will play a role as we get into the cold season a little bit more. And this is straight from the Climate Prediction Center. This is what they're saying. So this is really not getting reported. They're saying would be less likely to result in conventional winter impacts. And this is the point. This is where you just can't throw up a graphic, a generic graphic, and say, oh, it's a La Nina winter, this is what's going to happen. That's not the case. They're expecting it to transition to neutral status as well. And if you look at their own prediction, it's showing decreasing blue bars, which is La Nina, as we go into the new year, increasing gray bars, which is neutral, and even some red bars heading into spring. So timing is everything, intensity is everything, and the new European model is showing it weakening as we get into the new year with even some orange there coming in by spring, which would mean a reversal of temperatures along the equator. Have yourself a good Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.